Hello, everyone. Good morning. Really appreciate you taking the time today to join me for this Trafalgar National Parks Focus virtual training. I am going to start the presentation right at 9 a.m. This is going to be nice and quick, 30 minutes tops. We're going to cover just Trafalgar, which is our best-selling brand, and specifically how Trafalgar can help your clients book trips to the national parks. We're not going to cover Europe or Britain or any other destination that Trafalgar is well known for. Today is specifically to focus on national parks and why we should definitely use Trafalgar on our guided trips. But yeah, I'm just going to give it another minute here. People are starting to log in. I see you, Susan. Thanks for joining me. So yeah, it is a situation where as soon as 9 o'clock hits, I'm just going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who might be showing up a few minutes late, if you registered for this event, an automatic email with the recording will go out to you right after. So you will be able to see everything from the beginning, even if you've arrived a few moments late here. So without further ado, I guess we have 2 more minutes here. Any questions that you may have during my presentation, please put them in the chat. I am doing this. I'm on the road, so I'm in Seattle all week this week. I don't have my normal office setup. So I'm doing this just on my laptop, which means I won't be able to see your questions once I launch into the presentation. The only thing I'll be able to see is the presentation, just what you're seeing on the screen. But if any questions do pop up, throw them in the chat before I sign off. I'll do a quick little Q&A at the end. And during that Q&A, I'll go through the chat and start answering all those questions as best that I can. But yeah, we're getting pretty close here. Let me start getting my presentation set up. And we're going to jump right into it here. All right. Another quick minute. Looks like more people are joining, or trying to join at least. All right, so it's 9 o'clock. Well, for those of you on time, Susan mainly, thank you for joining me this morning. My name is J.Aguilar, and I am the sales manager with TTC Tour Brands for Northern California. A little bit about myself, if you're not too familiar with my background, the reason that I wanted to focus on national parks is I actually worked as an adventure guide for a few years, leading hiking trips throughout Yosemite National Park. It's a place close to my heart. I love going out there, even now, even though I've been thousands of times, I still enjoy it. It's a beautiful spot. So I wanted to do my best in introducing you to what Trafalgar can offer for national parks exploration, and also to grow one of our largest demographics that we're seeing a huge growth in is family travel. So the national parks, USA and Canada, are absolutely perfect for family vacations. So it's definitely worth considering Trafalgar's guided trips for any kind of family trips that you might have in mind. But yeah, without further ado, it's 9 o'clock or 9:01. I am going to just jump right into it. For those of you joining late, it will be recorded. So let me hit my slideshow here. All right, and then 1 second, bear with me as I share my screen. Here we go. So you should be able to see everything right there. Well, welcome. As I mentioned, my name is J.Aguilar. I am the sales manager here with TTC Tour Brands. I cover Northern California, Idaho, Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and Nevada. So I am the best resource that you will have moving forward on any issues with TTC Tour Brands, big or small. Today, we're going to dive into our best-selling brand, Trafalgar. But did you know that TTC Tour Brands covers these 6 brands, allowing us to offer a little bit of something to everyone, and we do mean everyone? Curating the best vacations possible for our travelers has been part of our DNA for over 100 years, as we are proud to be a part of the world's leading travel company. The Travel Corporation is a family-owned and operated business passionate about crafting vacations for over 40 award-winning brands. We make travel personal and put our guests at the heart of everything that we do. No matter where our guests travel or which travel corporation brand they travel with, we unlock the magic of the destination for all of our guests. TTC also owns and operates 2 highly respected and awarded luxury brands, Red Carnation Hotel and Uniworld. We are also committed to environmental stewardship through our Tread Right Foundation and our Make Travel Matter experiences. Let's learn a little more. Make Travel Matter experiences are conscious travel experiences chosen with great care based on the positive social or environmental impact that they have on their communities and with those who experience them. As a traveler on a Make Travel Matter experience, you can be assured that your experience will have a positive impact on the people and places you visit. We offer Make Travel Matter experiences on most of our itineraries with Trafalgar, and these experiences are designed or based off the United Nations Global Sustainability Goals. So, for today's agenda, we are going to jump into Trafalgar, the brand itself, which is one of our best selling brands. We're also going to ask the question and answer it: why go guided to the national parks? And I'll wrap up the presentation just highlighting a few trips which are considered our best sellers. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So today's going to be about Trafalgar, and we really are going to highlight the brand and how effective it can be at promoting USA and Canada in terms of all the beautiful open spaces that we have. So in terms of designing our tours, we do it so that your clients can experience the world differently. Guests will get the personal service, attention to detail, and ease that they are looking for while enjoying the unbeatable experiences that they've always dreamed of. Our connections in every destination and the importance we place on making a positive impact on the places we visit are all a part of what choosing to tour differently is all about. So, touring differently isn't just what we promise, it's absolutely what we deliver. Now, we know that our guests want to be sure that they get the icons of the destination as well as the smaller hidden gems. That's where Trafalgar's comes in and takes care of that and everything in between. Our planned itineraries will ensure your guests don't miss a thing, allowing them the opportunity to sit back and enjoy the ride. And once we've ticked off some of those must see sites, it's time to dive into culture. Your guests will get hands on and behind the scenes of the destinations that they want to explore. An immersive travel experience will allow guests to expand their horizons and, in turn, learn more about themselves wherever they choose to explore. A great example of a dive into culture experience is the Red Jammers Tour. You'll cross the Continental Divide over Logan Pass in a restored 1930s vintage touring red jammer. You will head up into the cirques of the St. Mary Valley along the Going to the Sun Road and stop at the Continental Divide, continuing over Logan Pass. A truly enriching experience that's also available on our Secrets of the Rockies and Glacier National Park. Your guests will also connect with locals. These are passionate locals, so much more than just a local guide. They want to show you why they love their hometown or area and ensure that you see a side that most tourists miss. They are teachers, historians, horticulturalists, artists, and even chefs from the local community who take you behind the scenes in their hometown. A perfect example is a visit to Martha's Date Gardens in the Bard Valley. On arrival, guests will be treated to a date farm tour of Martha's Garden Date Farm. The farm tour gives guests a firsthand and in-depth look at what it takes to grow and harvest this delicious fruit. Our guests will receive not only an education on date farming, but a much better appreciation for the dedication and hard work that it takes to get the dates from the farm to our customers' kitchen tables. Guests will then be hosted to a three-course date-inspired dinner inside the headquarters of Martha's Garden Date Farm. Guests will also be hosted by Chef Alex and Leslie McClendon from Visit Yuma. So with Trafalgar, your guests are also guaranteed to enjoy one-of-a-kind experiences that cannot be enjoyed with any other tour company and certainly not if they are traveling alone. Allowing your guests the opportunity to experience these exclusive events builds better value and ensures that they'll enjoy their trip, therefore becoming a repeat client looking to you to help them with their next big adventure. An example of our unique one-of-a-kind experiences is a stop in Pocatello for a special Be My Guest lunch at Swore Farms. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, you'll meet Wendy, mother, farmer, and award-winning author as you enjoy a tour of the farm and greenhouses, followed by lunch. You'll get a glimpse of Wendy's life and her family's passion for farming and living in a rural lifestyle. You can find this Be My Guest experience on our 5 Epic National Parks trip. How about sleeping under some beautiful towering redwoods? These redwood trunks frame your journey to Sequoia National Park, where we'll spend the night in our stays with stories. Surrounded by forest and soaring Sierra peaks, make travel matter and spend the evening gazing upwards at the star-spangled sky as a local naturalist guides you through the constellations. I already want to do that one. So Trafalgar offers many Make Travel Matter experiences throughout each itinerary to make a difference globally, individually, and locally. Your guests have the chance to get closer to the local communities of the regions that they'll visit. They'll also help support the people and the places closest to our hearts. Your guests will make a difference and travel more responsibly by giving back to people and planet. A great example of a Make Travel Matter experience is how we'll work with the Lakota people. We'll discover how deeply the Lakota people are connected to their land, customs, and ancestors as you enjoy this Make Travel Matter experience at the Oglala Lakota Living History Village, where you will time travel from the past to the present and gain priceless insight along the way. Then, take in the sights along the iconic Badlands Loop Road. You'll arrive at Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, where you'll meet talented Native artists and view their incredible works that powerfully represent Native culture with the goal of bringing positive change to the community. Another great event is the Black Hills Powwow, also known as He Sapa Wasipi, a sacred social gathering held by many North American indigenous communities that includes singing, dancing, drum groups, art, athletic competitions, and a variety of other events, all to celebrate and honor their beautiful culture that you get to witness. Enjoy an evening at the Black Hills Powwow, one of the premier American Indian cultural events in the United States, attracting hundreds of dancers, singers, artisans, and several thousand spectators. So, with Trafalgar, everything is going to be taken care of. All of the details and reservations that go into building a great itinerary are completely taken care of, allowing you as an agent to simply book your clients on our trips with confidence, knowing that they will have an incredible and unique adventure that only Trafalgar can deliver. But don't take it from me. There is a reason we have thousands of unedited, unfiltered ratings on FIFO, and our guests rank Trafalgar at a near perfect score. With 24/7 support, on the road teams, personal travel preferences, and optional experiences, your guests will enjoy personal service at its finest. Their on the road team includes a travel director and driver, as well as many local specialists to ensure that they have an exceptional travel experience. They'll be able to travel stress free and with ease. So, why go guided to our national parks? Well, from personal experience, I can assure you that having an informative and knowledgeable guide with you can be quite helpful in any destination, but especially a national park. In fact, the very first time that I myself traveled independently to Yosemite National Park, I was overwhelmed. I saw a bunch of beautiful, vistas from the road, but beyond staying close to where I was driving, I had no idea which trail to visit, which hike to go on, how difficult it was going to be. So it was really me just wandering around aimlessly that first time I went out there. So I can tell you from personal experience, having someone who knows that national park well is going to make all the difference between a good visit and an amazing one. So another good reason to make sure that you go with Trafalgar, we're going to maximize your time. Having a knowledgeable guide can ensure that your clients will absolutely maximize their time at our national parks. Their travel director will have an intimate knowledge of the destination, making great recommendations on how your clients prefer to spend their time. Your guests will be able to determine how they'd like to explore, whether it's just a gentle hike around the Yosemite Valley, for example, or if you're in Yosemite, maybe you want to do a more challenging hike all the way up to Vernal and Nevada Falls. Your guests will benefit from that detailed knowledge that our travel directors can provide, which will absolutely maximize their time at their chosen destination. Another reason to use us for the national parks, safety. National parks are beautiful, but they're also wild places. They're also incredibly remote and unpredictable. Having a dedicated team committed to your guests' well being is hugely important. Your clients get to enjoy the grand majesty of our national parks in the safety of a group with informed and helpful guides, which means your guests will have less stress and more fun as they safely explore these beautiful wild landscapes. And of course, when we think of our national parks, we think of thrilling adventures. On many of our national park itineraries with Trafalgar, exclusive and thrilling adventures are always included. By booking a trip with us, your clients can enjoy these inclusive experiences that are already included in the cost of their trip. This means your clients will get more thrilling adventures at their chosen destination without having to plan it themselves or add any additional cost to their vacation. Not to mention, depending on the season, a lot of these optional excursions are already booked. So there's a very high probability that if they try to book it themselves same day, they're just not going to have any space for them to be able to join. Another huge reason why you should focus on national parks with Trafalgar: absolutely perfect for families. We offer multiple itineraries that are family focused. These itineraries are packed with activities that span generations, including time off for mom and dad to explore alone. This means our family adventures allow for a stress free adventure where all the driving and planning is already done. We can give any family with kids between 5 to 17 years old the family vacation of their dreams. And this is my personal favorite: active adventures. For those active explorers, we have you covered, as our active adventure travel style allows more free time to explore each destination. Your dedicated travel director will offer sage advice as to the many hiking options available. They can vary from a gentle and short 1 mile out and back to a long and challenging hike to a rewarding view or a natural feature. This travel style is growing more and more popular as more people want to explore and dive deep into the most beautiful hikes our national parks have to offer. And we are very well positioned to accommodate even the most fervent hikers who seek peace and solitude at these destinations. Now, we are going to jump over we've covered why we should visit national parks with Trafalgar. Now we're going to look at some of our best selling trips. I'm sure you all recognize this gorgeous image. This is Yellowstone National Park. One of the great packages that can take your guests to Yellowstone is called National Parks Wonder, 9 days and 9 cities. So we'll start in Jackson, Wyoming before heading over to Grand Teton National Park. From there, we're off to Yellowstone National Park for a full day of wild buffaloes and natural geysers, with our accommodations at a signature lodge inside the park. We then visit the infamous town of Cody and step back in time to the Wild West. As our trip continues, we'll visit Mount Rushmore, the Crazy Horse Memorial, and then on to Rapid City. And we'll end this trip with a memorable Make Travel Matter experience as your guests enjoy a Lakota song and dance on our farewell dinner. All right, and this next image I absolutely love. Let's just let that hang there for a second. Look at how beautiful that is. So that's actually Yosemite in late spring. You can tell because the water is nice and calm. If you go during the height of spring, the water is just too fast. You don't get that beautiful reflective quality off of it. But this tour is called California's Great National Parks. We're actually going to start in 8 days, 7 cities, but we start in Viva Las Vegas. You're going to live as a high roller on the Las Vegas Strip. Then you're going to also ascend the world's tallest observation wheel. We'll then cruise the desert on our way to Death Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, truly a land of extremes. From there, we'll head up to Mammoth Lakes as we dine in the clouds after an enchanting gondola ride. We'll then take the Tioga Road, the highest highway in the country, as we drive through Yosemite's gorgeous high country, visiting Tuolumne Meadows and Tenaya Lake. Then it's into the valley, the crown jewel of our national parks, for a great Make Travel Matter experience on a gentle hike around the valley floor with a climber who will guide us while touching the great rock climbing history of the park. In fact, if you're unaware, rock climbing was born in Yosemite National Park, with El Capitan being the mecca of climbers from all over the world. In fact, there's a beautiful open meadow right across from El Capitan. You'll oftentimes see people there sitting with their lawn chairs, binoculars, staring up at some of the climbers making their way to the top. So after we visit Yosemite, the next day has us visiting the oldest and largest living organisms on planet Earth, the giant sequoias. And from there, it's time to visit Hollywood and shop on Rodeo Drive. And finally, it all comes to an end with a great farewell dinner on McKellar Farm. All right, and that's beautiful shot right there of Antelope Valley. So finally, we have got Utah's Mighty Five, 10 days, 12 cities. Our adventure begins in River City with a warm welcome reception. Then it's on to Canyon Country as we visit Dead Horse State Park and Canyonlands National Park. Then prepare to be astonished as we learn how Mother Nature's magic touch created by wind and rain as we go on a challenging hike to the famous Delicate Arch. More unique wonders are in store as we see the unique mushroom-shaped rock pinnacles of Capitol Reef National Park. Not to be undone, we'll explore the eerie landscape of Bryce Canyon National Park before seeing the coral pink sands, and then on to a mesmerizing Make Travel Matter experience where we'll be guided through Antelope Canyon, which is the image you see on the screen there. Our trip begins to wind down, but not before a visit to Zion National Park. You're going to have plenty of free time, which means you can choose your hike, whether it's a shorter Watchman Trail hike, Hidden Canyon, or the challenging but iconic Angel's Landing. It's from easy to strenuous. So that's the great thing about Utah's Mighty Five. Plenty of time in each national park. So your guests get to decide how they spend their time exploring these beautiful areas. Our trip's going to wind down back in Vegas, and then we're going to say goodbye to Utah and its Mighty Five. But that is it, everyone. I didn't want to make this presentation too long, simply because it is something that I am trying to get better at, is taking advantage of the time that you guys are able to offer me to make sure that we can do things efficiently. But I am going to open it up to any additional questions that you may have. Let me just stop sharing my screen here. I'm going to go into the chat folder here. I don't see any questions right now, so I'll give it another minute or two. But that was my introduction to Trafalgar and its national parks. I will say we are seeing a huge growth in family travel. These destinations are absolutely perfect. I know that with some AAA offices, you kind of have to start selling domestic before you can start offering international. So if any of the AAA agents out there know other agents that can only sell domestic, feel free to forward them the link to this video. Once it's done recording, you'll get an automatic recording sent over. But yeah, if that is it, I see a few people joined us this morning. Thank you so much for making the time. If you don't have any further questions, I don't see anything in the chat. I really want to thank you all for joining me on this Training Tuesday. I'm going to be doing these once a month. So every single first Tuesday of the month, I'm going to come up with a theme. I'll email you guys usually 2 weeks in advance so that you can kind of make time out of your schedule. Or if you want to just lock it down now, put a little note in your calendar. Every first Tuesday of each month, I will be doing these short Make Travel Matter. Trafalgar and other brands will be covered as well. Oh, thank you, Susan. I appreciate it. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.